watching Tommy TV.
It is time for Taylorville Girls Basketball here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. And we've got an exciting matchup here. It's as part of the Thanksgiving holiday tournament here at the Dolph, and Taylorville is set to take on Rochester. This is the second round of games here as part of the Thanksgiving holiday tournament, and we're thrilled you've joined us. I'm Reed Kamai. He's Leroy Klimola. Thanks again for tuning in. Both teams lost their first match. Thanks so much. As we get a little fist bump there from one of the officials. And we know this Taylorville team certainly adjusting after losing a lot of players at the end of last season. And in that respect, Leroy, what stood out to you yesterday in that first game of Taylorville's?
Well, a little bit of just nervousness, right? I mean, it was your first game yesterday. It was their first game. It was their first game as well. And, you know, when you have a team that has 4 out of 5 new starters and the other starter gets into foul trouble early, that can tendency to create a recipe for disaster, and that's what happened with Taylorville. Got down early, 8-0 against a Hillsborough team that just was able to find their shot, and Taylorville struggled a little bit. They struggled in that first quarter to get going. Once they got their shot, the game was actually pretty even. After that first quarter, the second, third, and fourth was pretty even. So if you're a Taylorville fan, there is a little bit of hope on the horizon. Yes, this is a different team than what we saw last year, obviously, but there is some hope with this team simply because it felt like they were taking a little bit to get going. Once they got going, it was, oh yeah, we're good at basketball, let's get going.
Let's get going indeed, and we'll talk a little more about that in just a bit. I do want to remind you that our coverage here on 96.5 The Chill is brought to you by a whole host of sponsors, by your Taylorville McDonald's, where I'm loving it, and they love the Tornadoes. It's brought to you by Taylorville Community Credit Union, the Senior Citizens of Christian County, Country Financial Agent Nicole Patrick, and Scooter's Coffee. Now, Scooter's Coffee is going to donate $3 for every 3-point shot scored by the varsity basketball teams here at Taylorville this season. There were 4 3-pointers last night, so that's already $12 just through basketball, in addition to the 41 touchdowns in football earlier this season, contributing $410. Looks like we are getting set now for the national anthems.
Nope.
No,
fight
we're
song.
not. Oh, it's the fight song. That is what we're getting set for. And let's take a listen. And that is the Taylorville fight song, not the national anthem. I saw people standing up. I would have thought that that's what it meant, but either way, what you heard there is the fight song. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue to build up to this game between Taylorville and Rochester right here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Welcome back to Tornado Girls Basketball here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. That's where else we're on. I'm Reed Kamai. He's Leroy Klimola. We're building up to this game between Taylorville and Rochester. Now, let's take a look at some of the players. We talked a lot yesterday about Bailey Jackson. She was the top scorer in that game against Hillsborough with 9 points. Aside from the point scoring, Leroy, what stood out to you?
For yesterday, a big reason that Taylorville was able to hang with them is because they were able to really just utilize strong defense to be able to shut down a lot of the attempts from anybody not named Greenwood. And so with that, Taylorville really was able to find some success last night. They're going to try to duplicate that again here today.
We'll see plenty more from Bailey Jackson. We'll see if we talk a little more about some of the other players. Right now, we are getting ready for the national anthem. That's what's going on this time. Let's take a listen.
Our final game for this morning's session will feature the Rochester Rockets and your Taylorville Tornadoes. At this time, could you please rise? Gentlemen, remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. Let's meet the starting lineup. First for the visitors, the Rockets of Rochester High School. At one forward, a 5'10" senior, number 20, Miley Detheridge. At a forward, a 5'9" senior, number 35, Delaney Ferris. At forward, a 5'8" junior, number 32, Cammie Tinder. At a guard, a 5'6"
Back here for
sophomore,
Tornado Girls
10,
Basketball on
Katie
96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV.
And
First, let's
guard,
pause 10 seconds for
5'6"
station identification
senior,
on
number
96.5 The
11,
Chill.
Elena Stock. The Rockets are coached by Brandon Rose.
Back here on 96.5 The Chill as we get ready for this one.
And now,
Rochester. We're hearing the
let's meet the starting lineup
announced. Let's go through the Rochester starting lineup first. They are starting
at forward, a 5'9" junior, number 35, Nora Thomas. At forward, a 5'9" junior, number 24, Grace Rogers. At forward, a 5'10" senior, number 12, Bailey Jackson. At a guard, a 5'4" junior, number 3, Hope Kitzelman. And at guard, a 5'2" senior, number 4, Peyton DeMichael. The Tornadoes are coached by Hayden Eldridge, assisted by Kevin Kitzelman.
So for Rochester, you know, when you look at this team, it really comes down to the play of Elena Stock, number 11. Taylor was going to really need to figure out ways to shut her down, be able to get in there and cause all kinds of problems. You want to take a look at our CTI keys to the game really quick,
CTI
please?
keys to the game really quick. For Taylorville, well, they got to score points. They struggled quite a bit yesterday with shooting. They also got to bring the energy. Not as many people in the audience today. And then also, they've got to play to their strengths. They've got plenty of strengths. We want to see that in this game. Getting ready for the tip-off, sponsored by McDonald's, where I'm loving it and they love the Tornadoes. Up is Bailey Jackson, and she wins it against Miley Detheridge of Rochester, and we are underway. Taylorville against Rochester here here in the Thanksgiving holiday tournament. And right now it is Grace Rogers who attacks the paint and scores the game's first points.
Much better start for Taylorville here in this one. Get those first points out of the way. That opens up and gives everyone a big sigh of relief.
We almost saw all of those CTI keys to the game right there on that possession. Rochester back the other way down 2-0. Shot there from Cami Tinder. She was trying to spin around and looks like that went out of bounds and Rochester gets it back.
Good defense from Taylorville here early. Look, I know it's the first 30 seconds, but this is what you need from Taylorville is to really be able to just cause some problems in the lanes.
Inbounded left corner, Rydell, and then back across to the front side and then to the left wing to Delaney Ferris. And that shot is off the left part of the rim and out. Taylorville goes back the other way, up 2-0 in the first minute. And fouled from behind that time by Cami Tinder.
Rochester beat Taylorville last year through a lot of three-point shots. It was a big, heavy three-point shooting team. When Delaney shot that three, it's kind of one of those, well, then she missed, and Taylorville really capitalized on it. But look, they're going to have to capitalize on these mistakes, be able to force turnovers, but then score points off those turnovers.
And that's what Hope Kitzman will be thinking as she inbounds it over to Grace Rogers. She's getting plenty of early touches in this game. Right wing, Bailey Jackson back to top, Hope Kitzman. She turns around a little bit, then finds Peyton DeMichael. Then over to Kitzman, back to Rogers, who takes the three from straight on, and that's an air ball that is rescued by Nora Thomas as she played that back in, and then it's out of bounds over to Rochester.
Well, you're not allowed to be the first person to touch the ball when you go out of bounds, so she was the first person to touch the ball because she was the one that rescued it, so that's what happened there.
Yeah, got to jump from inbounds as it's 2-0 Taylorville, 6:50 left, and Rochester trying to respond here. Quick pass to Rydell on the right wing, then Delaney Ferris at the top. Over on the left side, then back over, that is Elena Stock, one of the starters for Rochester. And foul called as Rochester will go to the line for a free throw sponsored by the Senior Citizens of Christian County.
Good foul on Taylorville there on that one. Look, no easy looks to the basket. She had an easy drive on the right-hand side and was able to be shut down by Peyton DeMichael.
So it's Elena Stock who goes to the line, the senior, 5'6", and the first free throw goes up and it misses off the front of the rim.
That makes it even better.
And you were talking before, just having to capitalize on those mistakes. You saw the missed free throw could be a chance here for Taylorville. The second one goes up. That's in and out.
And that's what you want.
That is exactly what you want. 2-0 Taylorville, 6:30 left.
Keep Elena Stock pointless.
That's right. Rogers, right wing, then to Peyton DeMichael, who takes the three from the top, and that's high bounce off and rebounded by Ferris.
Taylorville needs to do a much better job of getting in there and boxing out. They allowed that rebound easily.
And that's Miley Detheridge who scores Rochester's first points of the game from right low post.
Detheridge, not a whole lot there, was able to find some space underneath the basket, just easy shot.
Taylorville didn't transition all that great. Grace Rogers then finds DeMichael at the top. Hope Kitzman on the left wing. She cuts to her left, keeps that one in bounds despite a touch from a Rochester player. No shot clock. Peyton DeMichael, right wing, cuts inside to Kitzman, then to Rogers, and she traveled. Ball goes back to Rochester, and an early miscue from the Tornadoes.
They're going to get Grace on moving her pivot foot on that one. Just got a little bit too excited. Tried drawing the fake out by moving her left foot, moved her right instead, and that got her easily.
Just a slight movement there. It's 2-all between Taylorville and Rochester, 5:40 left in the first quarter. Tinder, left wing rather, to Delaney Ferris. There are two Ferrises on this team. And that one's stolen away. Grace Rogers with a tip on the pass, and Rogers could get it on the inlet pass, and she lays it right in from the paint.
Well, and as I said, look, you need great play from your playmakers. Grace Rogers is able to do that there, but more importantly, points off turnovers.
Rogers for Rochester, too. Taken back over to Tinder. And that is Rydell, who tried to lay that one in, missed it.
Rydell wanted the foul, wasn't going to get it. Now Taylorville tries to capitalize.
And it's the right side to Hope Kitzman from the right corner. And that one is just a bit long, held ball. And the ball goes to Rochester, it looks like.
Great awareness on that one. We're able to get in there and just really try to just cause some problems. Bailey was trying to turn the corner and put it back up, and Rochester wasn't letting it happen. With the possession arrow going to them, they get the ball back.
And then it goes to Taylorville afterwards. It's 4-2 Tornadoes. Left side Tinder, then to the left corner to Stock. That one's long off the rim. Taylorville goes back the other way.
In is Thea Susley. She's in right now. She was a great six-man off the bench. With the absence of McKinley Simplecamp, Mac's not been feeling well, and we hope you get better soon, Mac, and we miss you on the court.
Thea Susley missed there, short on the right side. Rochester, Tinder out front for the three, and it's sunk by Delaney Ferris.
Delaney Ferris, one of the big three-point shooters from this Rochester team, able to capitalize right there after an early miss, and Taylor's going to need to figure out a way to shut her down.
And it is 5-4 for Rochester as the foul is called.
And what you're seeing, Reed, is two very, very young teams here that are just kind of going through the paces here of trying to figure out what their identity is. And what you're seeing because of that is a little bit more fouls than what you normally would see.
Having to slow the pace down here as that's Rochester's second foul of the quarter. 4:11 left, and it's 5-4 in favor of the away side. And that was inbounded, and a foul called again against Rochester, and this time it sends the Tornadoes to the line, and more specifically, Thea Susley, and the free throw sponsored by the Senior Citizens of Christian County.
Rydell picked up her first foul, team second, and then right afterwards they pick up their third on top of that. So
Susley, after a couple bounces, sinks that one. She scored just 1 point. So she scored all her points this season from the free throw line. A couple players coming in for Taylorville, Gigi Tarr and Nora Thomas comes back in.
Gianna Tarr's older sister, Addison, playing basketball at SEMO University this year.
That side played against Illinois. The second free throw missed, and it is 5-all. 4:05 left in the first quarter. Rochester's got it.
Over and all, Coach Hayden Elder got to be thrilled with how this team has started off this game after a slow start yesterday.
Good to be in a position like this as it's a couple passes with Rochester. Tinley Bialis, then back to the right wing to Danica Christman as Rochester gets some more players involved. Right side again, Danica Christman as a foul is called. Looked a bit light there. I see the grimace on your face as I think that's Nora Thomas who is sanctioned. Or is that? All right,
tried to get the ball and hit the ball as she was driving in. They say it's on the floor, and we'll take it.
And that looks like it was actually Hope Kitzman sanctioned. So it's Rochester who gets it. That's a deep pass back to the front court, and it's with Riley Henry, a player who's come on for Rochester, Danica Christman, and she sinks it on the jump in towards the basket.
Boy, Lily Durbin was all over her, and man, was painting her like a painting, but still was able to get that shot off and put it in.
Durbin to Thomas on the right wing. Then over to Gigi Tarr at the top. Right wing again, Kitzman. Back over to Durbin, Lily Durbin. And that was a swinging shot there that doesn't even find the rim.
Just tried to put it up and hope you get the rebound on it. They weren't able to. Now here comes Rochester.
Oh, it could be a three from Riley Henry, and she sinks it from the right wing. Rochester transitioning well as they now lead 10-5, doubling up Taylorville with 2:50 left in the first quarter.
5-point swing, and Taylorville brings them back in their starters.
Gigi Tarr, right side, Kitzman. They're getting ready to, at least. Thomas then cuts into the paint from the top, left wing to Tarr. Oh, she looked like she had a wide open three, and that pass looking for Thomas goes over and out of bounds.
So Grace Rogers and Peyton DeMichael check back in, and they come in for Hope and for Lily, and again, just trying to get that spark back on this Taylorville team after starting off the quarter so strong. They've been quiet for the last 3.5 minutes.
So now Rochester has it back 10-5, 2.5 left. Tight press on the right side, and it's Bialis, and that one goes out of bounds on the pass. Taylorville gets it back.
So we'll see if Taylorville is able to stop their drought and pick up some points here. Again, while it's not a danger zone right here, you got to figure the next basket's pretty important in this early game.
Thea Susley, right wing, holds on to it a bit, looking for another pass. Second straight time possession has ended this way. Tarr only got a hand to it, went out over the baseline.
Gianna tried forcing it over to the near side. Susley was just not tall enough to be able to corral it and bring it in. Ball goes out.
Rochester has it back, still up 10-5. Just over 2 left in the first quarter. And that was Taylor Cabinet taking it in, and then she found, I think that was Danica Christman, who sunk it from short corner.
And it absolutely was. And again, the basket's coming easily for Rochester now. Defense needs to tighten up a little bit for Taylorville.
And trying to be ambitious there as Susley ran into traffic and gave it away. So Rochester goes back, and we've seen, was that a travel? They're saying it's a travel right on the center line, and Taylorville gets it back.
No, Reed. She did the great Michael Jackson impression and tried to moonwalk her way to the front court.
Yeah, actually, that was not far off. And this floor is a good surface to do it as timeout is called. We're going to take one, too. 1:41 left in the first quarter. 12-5 Rochester on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Taylorville Girls Basketball on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. I'm Reed Kama. He's Leroy Clamola. Get going, 1:41 left in the first quarter, and it is 12-5 Rochester. Peyton DeMichael, right wing to Grace Rogers. She cuts to the top of the key. Thea Susley in that same position. Then to Gigi Tarr. Finds Susley again, right low post. Jackson, short corner, cuts into the paint and wins the foul and the free throws, which are sponsored by the Senior Citizens of Christian County.
Well, what a battle there from Bailey. Jackson was able to drive in, be able to go corral around 3 Rochester players, and it was almost a referee choice as to who was going to get that foul, and it was given over to Chrisman.
Chrisman, that's her second. And the first free throw from Jackson is long and off the rim. By the way, the timeout earlier was brought to you by the Taylorville Community Credit Union, as Hope Kitzman comes back in, and Thea Susley is brought back to the bench. 1:23 left, Taylorville down 7. Second free throw from Bailey Jackson goes in, so she's on the board in this game, and it is 12-6. So here comes Rochester. The Rockets, as they're called. Tinder, right side again, Elena Stock, as they get the starters involved. Tinder, left side, Henry, then a long pass over the top as they work it right around the perimeter, and it's eventually to Henry, who takes the three from the right or the left wing, and the foul on the swat away, and it's against Rochester.
Well, and again, just trying to make a play on the ball, and oftentimes your hands aren't really in control when you're coming down. They give her the push, and Taylorville will take it, as that is the first foul on...
Yeah, that was Riley Henry, and actually that is their 5th as well. And they're saying, therefore, shoot. So Gigi Tarr, the junior, goes to the line, and this is sponsored by the Senior Citizens of Christian County. Tarr puts it up, and that one is just long and misses. Exactly 1 minute left as Rochester is again doubling up on Taylorville. Riley Henry goes to the bench. Miley Deathridge comes back in.
Yeah, and the free throws just are not falling for Taylorville here early. You got to get the points where they're available.
They looked better at it yesterday, and again, it's a double miss. Is that a lane violation? Is that what they're saying?
Yep, so they're going to get another shot here.
Another shot. So a reprieve, and you mentioned earlier, Leroy, taking advantage of these mistakes. Here's another opportunity.
They don't come around too often, so you got to take advantage when you can.
Had a couple opportunities earlier. Otherwise, Rochester looking smooth, and this time, Tarr does take advantage. 12-7.
Take advantage of that mistake and be able to put up a point. But again, only 2 field goals for Taylorville here in this first quarter, and they're going to need to figure out a way to adjust.
Plenty to discuss after the first quarter, and that was almost a steal there as Peyton DeMichael got a hand to it. It's back in Rochester's side, and they can recover. 40 seconds left. That is left wing, back to the front, and then to the left corner to Stock. Stock drives in and looks for the floater. That one misses. Is that a held ball? It is a held ball, and this time it goes in Taylorville's favor with a possession arrow their way.
Well, and again, Jackson, instead of trying to just race down the court, tried handing it over to Peyton DeMichael, and getting in there and causing some problems, caused the jump.
All right, 24 seconds left. Hope Kitzman, right side. Grace Rogers at the corner. Then Tarr takes it from short corner, and that one rolls in and out. And it's rebounded. Rochester could have the last word in the first quarter, and that's a long pass, not rescued by Cammie Tinder. Both teams trying to attack quickly. Taylorville ball, 10 seconds.
And the ball moving faster than what either team can handle, and what becomes of that is you just don't be able to control it and can't make easy shots on that one.
All right, 8 seconds left. Hope Kitzman driving from the left side, goes around in towards the paint and floats it up. Doesn't find anyone, as that does eventually find Katie Rydell, but she can't do anything with it, and that is the end of the first quarter. Well, it's Rochester in control here, 12-7, as we go towards the second quarter here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Taylorville Girls Basketball on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Rochester leads Taylorville 12-7 going into the second quarter. I'm Reed Kamai with Leroy Clamola. Rochester ball to start the second quarter as they lost the tip-off. And that's a pass into the key as a held ball, and it is Taylorville ball. So an early stop there as Taylorville gets it back, but Rochester, of course, now with the possession arrow.
Yeah, but a basket from Taylorville gets this a one-possession game.
Good opportunity for them to score here. Bailey Jackson from the top of the three cuts into the paint and floats one up right on the right side, gets it back, and then the follow-up is also off the rim. A third shot. Can she convert this time? It's off the left side, recovered by Grace Rogers. A fourth attempt. Rogers, they're getting those looks, getting those rebounds. They don't convert.
Well, you get 4 chances at that. You have to hit one of them, and they weren't able to hit a single one of them.
Yeah, even I probably would have scored one of those, except maybe not with the defense. Rochester 12-7, 3 from the right corner by Tinder. Just a bit long, recovered by Delaney Ferris.
Oh, great job from Hope Kitzman getting in there and causing problems.
And it's Taylorville who gets it back. Another chance to maybe make this a one-score game. Kitzman has it. Right wing, Thomas. Inside, Grace Rogers at the right low post. Turns and shoots, and again long as Taylorville continues to miscue from the shots.
And again, Taylor was just not able to find the bucket. Well, it's a problem that they struggled with yesterday as well.
Delaney Ferris, 3 from the left corner, is off the rim and recovered by Hope Kitzman. That's into Jackson on a good pass, and Long doesn't find the rim. Recovered after a scrum by Delaney Ferris. It's back and forth stuff. 12-7 Rochester, 6:22 left. And it's lost on the dribble and recovered again by Taylorville.
Boy,
back and forth.
They're lucky they didn't get Nora Thomas kicking the ball there, but we'll take it.
Now it's Thea Susley driving in from the left side, takes it from the paint and rolls in and out.
Again, the low shooting percentage from Taylorville here in this game, just like yesterday.
Causing a lot of problems. Elena Stock, left wing. Couple passes, right corner. Driving in, and that pass in, out of bounds, off a Taylorville hand.
Gianna Tara, Lily Durbin getting ready to check in, but I think there's a timeout.
Timeout here, and we'll take one too. It is 12-7 Rochester. 5:54 left in the second quarter on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Back at the Dolph, 12-7 Rochester. 5:54 left in the second quarter. As It is Rochester, it looks like, to get the ball back here, right under the Taylorville basket. Here we go. It is Cami Tinder to inbound. Remember, there's no shot clock. Elena Stock has it as the clock gets going again. And it's back over. Audacious pass back to Stock. Left corner, Henry. Then back around to the right wing. Then back to the left corner. Henry again as she looks for a shot. Tightly guarded. Then right side, wing, rather. Then left, right wing again. Rochester's really painting the court here with where they're passing it, and it's an attempt for three from the left wing from Elena Stock, which she converts.
Tic-tac-toe for Rochester. Elena Stock was very quiet in the first quarter, hitting a big three there, and you do not want Elena Stock heating up.
Yeah, her first points of the game. 5:09 left. Taylorville 7, Rochester 15. It's out to left side as Tar, just a floating jumper, shoots it long. Recovered beautifully by a couple Rochester players before it went out of bounds. Taylorville still having trouble shooting in this game. Now it's with Rochester. Right wing to left wing, then to left corner. Henry for three. Rochester's been good from three. They missed that one, though, as Taylorville tries to counter.
Durbin able to get in there and grab the ball and able to keep it from being turned over again.
And that's a good drive from Lily Durbin, but can't score on the layup. Gathered that time by Bialis, and it's back with Rochester. Left side now, Stock. They're up 15-7, 4:20 left. And it's back to Stock, left wing, and she takes the three and rolls in. 2 threes from her, and it's a 30-second timeout called by Hayden Eldred, and let's keep it here for right now, as I'm Reed Kamai, he's Leroy Klimola, and we've seen Rochester make their shots, Taylorville not so much, and Rochester's been able to make some seemingly risky passes, and that's helped keep their possessions alive.
Well, and it's not even the risky passes that I'm really concerned about. It's the fact that, Taylorville's had way more opportunities to get points than Rochester has. They're just not capitalizing on them. And at some point, the defense can only carry you so far. So for this Taylorville team, they're really going to need to figure out a way to start putting the basket in the bucket. And that's been probably the biggest problem over the last 2 days. Has not been necessarily their play. It's been the fact that the balls just aren't dropping.
Let me remind you, our coverage on 96.5 The Chill is brought to you by Taylorville McDonald's, where I'm loving it and they love the Tornadoes, by TCCU, Senior Citizens of Christian County, Country Financial Agent Nicole Patrick, and Scooters Coffee. Here goes Taylorville again with, now it's to the right side, and Reagan Funderburk, who comes in now. Thea Susley, just had that taken away as she dribbled into the paint. And they said it's a double dribble by Rochester, and Taylorville with another reprieve.
Taylorville will breathe a sigh of relief on that one as they're able to get in there and lose the ball. Theo couldn't have control over it. Rochester poked it away, but double dribbled on the way down the court.
Can Taylorville take advantage of the mistake? They're down 18-7. Right side, Rogers from right side low key, and that one is just long off the rim.
Got a special halftime show coming your way. We'll be talking to former Taylorville graduates Leah Champley and Maisie Fleming at halftime. Two of the big Taylorville Tornado basketball players from last year. Excited to talk to them about what they have going on. Looking
forward to that. And that long pass, that's a rare mistake of that kind from Rochester. Taylor Kavanagh can't handle that, and it goes out of bounds.
18-7 lead, and kind of a danger zone for Taylorville as they try to add some points here going into halftime.
Lily Durbin takes it across halfway. Thea Susley, left wing. Back to Reagan Funderburk, top of the three. Left wing again to Thomas. Looking for a pass, instead dribbles it herself. Then to Susley, now back into the paint. This time it's Nora Thomas. She was looking for the shot. I don't think she really got one off.
I don't know if it was blocked or if she just didn't have enough strength behind the oomph, but a little bit low and a little bit short on that one.
They need more oomph. Tinley Bialis, left side of Sock, then into Delaney Ferris, who can't handle that one, and it's out of bounds.
Again, Ferris wanting a foul call. She wasn't going to get it. That was pretty clear ball-on-ball action. So
4 Taylorville substitutions. Peyton DeMichael, Hope Kitzman come back in along with Gigi Tarr and Bailey Jackson. No fouls by either team so far in the second quarter. 2:56 left, and Rochester is up 18-7.
Relatively clean second quarter, to be honest with you, Reed. Just really two teams that have not been playing that well. And when you don't have teams that play well, generally you get a few more foul calls, but that's just not the case here in the second quarter.
Hope Kitzman, right wing to Rogers. Rogers takes the 3 from the right wing, and that's off the left side of the rim and bounces out of bounds and actually off the official, and it's back with Rochester. So the Rockets going back the other way, 2:35, and they're up by 11 points late in the second quarter. Stock, little give and go, then to Henry on the right side, off to Taylor Kavanagh now. Oh, that's a good pass to Tinder, who is called for the travel.
Taylorville's not doing enough to capitalize on these mistakes from Rochester. Rochester Rockets have been making quite a few here in the second quarter, but Taylorville's been relatively quiet this whole second quarter. They don't have any points yet.
So they got to get on the board here. 2:12 left. Not a lot of time to get those points. Rogers top of the 3, but she traveled. 2 substitutions from Rochester as Miley Deathridge, and I think that's Katie Rydell, who's also come back in.
Taylorville had problems last year as well with just going through long periods of time, 4 or 5 minutes without scoring a basket, but their defense was always enough that they could keep them in games, and that just hasn't been the case so far here in these first 2 matchups.
Tinder left corner to Deathridge, who just came on as a substitute. Then back to her. Oh, she looked like she wanted the 3. Instead, finds Tinder again, left wing. And that's a pass recovered by Ferris right in the arc. That's a 3 from the right wing. And off a Taylorville player in the scrum for the ball.
Went off a grace, but I was excited to see the box out on that one. Rochester really was able to have a lot of second chances here. They were able to get in there and force it to go out of bounds.
Still 18-7 Rochester, 1:42 left in the second quarter. Long inbound to the top of the 3, Elena Stock. Rydell, front to Deathridge, or rather on the left side. Then left short corner to Tinder. They wrap it around again from outside the 3. Now back to the top, and that is Rydell again. And the long 3 is an air ball. Who gets the last touch? Rochester recovers it. Really well done. Rydell for 3, near side, just barely off the rim, long.
Despite not scoring this entire second quarter, the fact that Taylor was only down by 11 speaks volumes.
Tar for 3, and that one is off the backboard and rim and out. Rochester, another possession now under a minute, up 18-7. Tinder takes a 3. That one's off the rim from the left wing and out. Now it's Peyton DeMichael, or rather Hope Kitzman. Into the key for Rogers. Now back to Kitzman. Front court, straight on. DeMichael, this time it's DeMichael, left wing. Front to Rogers again, then to Kitzman. 30 seconds left in the second quarter. Kitzman drives into the paint, turns around, takes the basket, but she gets it off the rebound, or off the backboard and rim and out. 19 seconds left. Rochester could add to their lead before the break. Rydell, then left side. Deathridge, front to Stock, then back to Deathridge on the left side. 6 seconds left. Stock, left side, then to Deathridge, who takes the 3 as time expires. I think it got a block. And that stops Rochester from adding to their lead, as it is 18-7 in favor of the Rockets. No points for the Tornadoes in the second quarter, just 6 for the Rockets as they are in control here at the Dolph. Well, stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, we'll look back at the first half, and we'll have interviews with a couple of former Tornadoes players. Stay tuned here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Taylorville Tornadoes Basketball. Lady Tornadoes find themselves trailing right now 18-7. We have two very special guests that are joining us here today, and I tell you what, it always puts a smile on my face seeing former players, and right now we have two of the best to ever wear the Taylorville purple, Leah Champley and Maisie Fleming. Ladies, how are you? Good. Glad to have you guys here, and I know, Maisie, I know you're 7 feet tall, but I need you to hold the mic just a little bit closer. There we go. As helps if I turn it on as well. Anyway, we got it. I appreciate it. Anyway, so now that we've got this all set up, Maisie, talk a little bit about what you got going on right now.
Okay, so yeah, I'm at UIS playing volleyball. We just wrapped up our season, so that was really fun. And just having kind of that first year in college athletics, it's definitely a big jump, but it was super fun. It was a really great season. So yeah, now I am here for Thanksgiving break and yeah, looking ahead to the spring and training next year. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
UIS didn't try to get you for the basketball team?
They tried a little. I never really talked about it too much with UIS, but there's definitely a lot of talk about it. But no, I kind of decided just to stick with volleyball.
Talk a little bit about that adjustment. You know, you mentioned it a little bit, but for those who may not know, how big of a jump is it from playing high school volleyball even to a D2 level school?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a big jump. I mean, they expect you to be able to do everything. There's no position, honestly, it's you do everything, and that I think was the biggest thing for me. Being in Taylorville, I always was mostly just hitting and blocking, but I have to be able to pass and do all of that stuff, so that was kind of my biggest adjustment. But yeah, it was definitely a jump, but I mean, I kind of just went into it with an open mind, and it was pretty great, so yeah.
Leah, what you got going on right now?
So right now I'm studying at Lincoln Land. I did college and high school, so right now I'm on the track to go to the cardiovascular sonography program at Lincoln Land.
Awesome.
So I got 2 more classes, and I can apply in February, but I've just been going to watch Maisie, kind of just doing my own thing, following my own path. I'm not doing any sports right now, but I still find myself in health and fitness, so I still make that a priority after high school.
How does it feel knowing that you're almost done and you can really start moving towards that goal of having a career?
I mean, it's great. I've always been like the kind of person I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to go through like 7 years of schooling or anything like that. So this program is short and sweet, and I get to work in a field that I really enjoy. I enjoy caring for people. That's part of my job right now. So I can actually find myself, I've learned a lot throughout sports my entire life, and I'm like kind of doing that through my job as well. So it's really nice just learn through sports, and now you get to do it in real life. So.
All right, you guys have been sitting behind the Taylorville bench over here. What have you seen from this Taylorville team, and how can they get back into this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of shots not falling right now, and I mean, that happens. It's early in the season, you know, they've just started their practices and everything. So, I mean, I think just getting some of those shots to fall is really going to help them a lot, and just kind of locking down more on defense.
Leah, how bad do you want to be on the court right now?
So I actually talked to Grace not too long ago. She said, we're doing a lot of rebounding. And she's like, we didn't realize like how much like you, Maisie, and Addison all rebound. And we were just like, yeah, like you just got to get in there. I mean, that's the biggest part. You need a rebound, you need an offensive rebound, you need to move the ball. And I mean, overall, I feel like if they move the ball more and just start getting more open looks, so shots start falling, they're still kind of like meld together. So, yeah.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it so much. Maisie Fleming, Leah Champley, being able to talk to us a little bit. Hey, I'll come find you after the game. We'll talk a little bit more. Fantastic. As Leah Champley and Maisie Fleming joining us here this afternoon to talk to us a little bit about what they have going on right now and a little bit about Taylorville athletics as a whole. And look, Reed and Maisie and Leah and Maisie said it best. Look, they have to do a better job of rebounding and getting that ball back.
Yeah, they have to get the ball back. Although we did see some of those, second chance. There was even a 4-chance play, right? So they got to do that. So. Plenty of questions to answer, and I'm sure that's been much of the discussion in the halftime team talk, as that's been the story of the game, as Rochester has been able to pull away, and they've been able to play and not make too many mistakes, although there were periods of time right in the start of the game and then also during the second quarter when Rochester, made some mistakes. Taylorville, took advantage of some of them early on, not so much in the more recent goings of this game. Well, it is still halftime here, and we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the second half here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Back at the Dolph, Rochester 18, Taylorville 7 going into the second half on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. I'm Reed Kamai, he's Leroy Klemola. Rochester attacking from left to right, and they get the ball to start the third quarter. As it is Stock to the right corner, and then back to Stock, who's at the top. She's the focal point of this attack, as that's a long pass to the left wing to Detheridge. Back to Stock again. She's been the one making these passes, and that was a poor one in the end as it's gathered by Reagan Funderburg.
Good read by Bailey Jackson, able to get in there and grab the ball, and that's one of those where it just lands in your pocket. You're like, wait, where did that happen? When did that happen?
Correction, that was Nora Thomas, but Taylorville has it back, down 18-7, and that's a 2 from Thomas again, and that is out of bounds. It rolled after a couple of touches, and what are they saying here? It's with Rochester. So Rochester has it, as Taylorville still without points since the first quarter, as it is 18-7, 7:08 left in the third quarter. Left side, and that is Eiley Detheridge again. Back to the front to Stock. Left wing, Tinder. Left corner, Detheridge again, and it's to the right corner this time as they attempt the 3, and it's good from Katie Rydell, nothing but net.
Another open look and another easy basket for Rochester, and Taylorville needing to shut down that perimeter.
Her first points of the game, 21-7, and a layup from underneath by Grace Rogers. Missed, didn't even find the rim, and after a scrum, it's gathered by Rochester.
Went through a lot of contact on that one. She wanted a foul, did not get it, and rather than finish the shot, it just kind of broke down.
Stock has it. Right wing to Ferris, right corner. Then to the other wing and corner. Now with Rydell again, who scored the 3 just now. And that's Elena Stock. And that pass comes off of Bailey Jackson and is out of bounds. And inbound pass, that was a quick one to Stock, and they don't cover her. I was going to say, Taylorville's got to focus on the perimeter, and then they leave the paint open.
Another great look right there. Elena Stock putting in her first field goal of the day after a couple trays, and it's 23-7, their largest lead of the day.
And that is with Nora Thomas, and back to Rogers, who attempts the 3, and that's exactly what Taylorville needed.
They're only giving her a 2, Reed.
Oh, it's only a 2. Okay, then it's just a 2. Thought I saw 3 fingers go up. Maybe it's from the wrong fingers. So it is 23-9, and it's stolen away by Grace Rogers, who scored the points just now, but she stepped out. Did she step out of bounds? Looks like that's the call here. Either way, it's Rochester ball. As a couple substitutions made, Gigi Tarr comes back in, and so does Thea Susley. So 5:34 left, 23-9 in favor of Rochester. This was the regional final last season. Now it's second game for Taylorville as that's laid in from Delaney Ferris, and she's up to 5 points on the game.
Well, two very, very different teams from what we saw last year, as only a few of the starters are on from either side, and so far Rochester has the upper hand here in this one.
A lot of change from both teams. Thea Susley drives in and then kicks it out to left wing to Gigi Tarr. Right wing now, as that's Grace Rogers, but it's stolen away. And the quick break from Rydell, and she lays it in as no one was there to catch her. Now it's Taylorville making the mistakes, and Rochester taking advantage. Now they've tripled up Taylorville. It's 27-9. And that's Rogers who takes the three. It's an air ball, short on the right side, bounces out of bounds. So now, Leroy, we've just seen a little bit of everything as both teams make a number of substitutions. Taylorville's shooting, and Rochester's taking advantage of some of those mistakes.
Well, and Taylorville's just trying to do anything that they can to try to shock the system and put some points on the board. And when you go through long phases where you're not hitting, you got to get back to the basics and just put up easy buckets. And that's something that Taylorville struggled with here in this one.
And they've taken some more difficult shots at times, down 27-9. Now it's with Rochester, Elena Stock. And that pass to the right side, it came off the hand of Thea Susley, who tried to intercept it out of bounds.
And again, the biggest issue is just the youth of this Taylorville team. Look, there are only 2 seniors on this team. They have a lot of juniors, quite a few sophomores, and when you have a lot of youth and a lot of guys that have not had a lot of starting time, the growing pains can be quick and the growing pains can be severe.
And that was a pass and the foul called. Actually, that's the first foul since the first quarter, as Thea Susley is sanctioned for reaching in and contacting the opponent. So it's on the floor, so Rochester gets the ball back. 4:02 left, they lead 27-9. And that inbound pass was back into their own half of the court. So that is with Elena Stock again. She's touched the ball plenty of times in this game, has Elena Stock. And that was a long, risky pass. Who does that come off? Does Rochester get the last touch? It is, as that was hit by Susley back off the Rochester player. They get it back.
Boy, Thea's been fantastic here in this one. She's been all over the place, and they've been really stepping up here as a 6th man off the bench.
Oh, that's a great play. Gives Taylorville a much-needed attempt to put some more points on the board. Is that 3 seconds? That's 3 seconds. So a missed opportunity.
Nope, it was a foul.
Oh, it was a foul, okay.
I believe so, yes, sir. It was a foul, offensive foul against Taylorville.
Okay, then. So it's Rochester ball either way. Taylorville's second of the third quarter. The timeout is called by Rochester.
They're going to get Thea Susley on that one, on trying to clear some space underneath the basket. And as she did, she displaced her opponent, and they got her on the foul on that one.
So Rochester calls a timeout as we keep it right here. And no, it's been the same old story, as Taylorville again just struggling to not just make the shots. They haven't had a whole lot of opportunities at this point in the third quarter, and it's been Rochester who's been able to control it.
Well, and that's just it. You know, when you are struggling and you try to get the game just simplified a little bit, you end up focusing so much on mistakes that you're making that you're not thinking about playing the ball and shooting it. And so Taylorville really can fix a lot of their issues by making points. And I know that sounds cliche, but that's really the biggest thing that's hurting Taylorville right now, is just they're not, the baskets just aren't falling.
But here's a chance for Rochester to do the opposite, as the three from Bialis is off the rim, and the foul on the transition is committed by, it looks like that is Riley Henry. That's her second of the game.
Yeah, they're going to get Riley for a reach-in on that one. Tried to get in there and cause some problems, and I don't know if she just lost her footing and was trying to brace herself, but her hand came really high up in there, and it was an easy call to make for the officiating crew.
Delaney Ferris and Cammie Tinder come in for Rochester. 3:22 left in the third quarter. Taylorville down 9-27. And that driving shot there does find the backboard, but not the rim, and it's recovered by the Rockets. It's Cammie Tinder, and that's a long pass. It came off one hand and reached someone else. It's fallen Rochester's way all game long. And it is Ferris to Tinder. then back into Ferris, into the paint as she continues to drive and gets the shot away. She wanted a foul, and it's rebounded by Tar.
Good rebound from Tar, and they're able to bring that ball down and just cover it up. Here comes Taylorville.
And it's Tar again as she finds Jackson on the right corner. And then that shot from right low post doesn't even find the rim. Gathered by Tinder, who drives across the left side, almost forced out of bounds there, but stays in. Oh, that's stolen away. Here's a chance. Kitzman, clear lane. Can she lay it in? It's off the backboard in the front of the rim and out. Another missed opportunity. It's Bialis again. Left side, left wing, Tinder. Right side, Chrisman. And then across to Tinder. Tinder again from the left wing. A couple of exchanges between her and Bialis in the left corner. The foul is called against Hope Kitzman.
And it's a double foul, Reed.
Oh, it's a double foul, okay. So then, all right, so it looks like, I think Rochester gets the ball here.
So Hope Kitzman picked up a foul on that one, as did Henry, I believe. Riley Henry did, I believe, as well.
Well, that's her third of the game. So big decision that time, though Rochester does get it back. Stock on the inbound.
I was wrong. I think it's on Ferris. Regardless.
Okay, let's keep going. The shot there from the left side from Tinder is off the rim and out, and Taylorville looks to drive the other way. Rochester gets back. Rochester's up 27-9 with 1:45 left, and Jackson with a three, and she does get it this time. It is a three, and Bailey Jackson, that's, I think, certainly her first field goal of the game.
Yeah, a free throw earlier on a set where she made 1 out of 2, but good big three-pointer for Taylorville right there on that one.
And another steal. Can Taylorville take advantage? Oh, but Peyton DeMichael just lost her handle on it, and Rochester gets it back. Rochester going back the other way. Stock, 1:15 left. They're up 27-12.
You can start to see the energy level start to pick up here in this one. That three really rejuvenated this Taylorville offense.
And they got to translate it into defense here as well. Stock driving from the left side, short off the rim. Who did that come off? I think they're saying it's a foul.
There you get Ferris on a push, I think. Yes, they are. So that'll be Ferris' second.
So that's her second. And it's ball in favor of Taylorville with just under a minute left in the third quarter. And the Tornadoes down 27-12. That three, by the way, adds another $3 to the donation from Scooter's Coffee to the Tornado Give Back program. Here goes Taylorville again. Lily Durbin left to that's Reagan Funderburg. And the three from the left wing, and that's another three. And again from Jackson. Nothing but net. Now it's 27-15. 35 seconds left. Rochester attacks quickly. I think they're just looking to take advantage of Taylorville being on the high. Stock left, crosses over to the right, outside of the three. Ferris inside pass, and it comes off a couple Taylorville players and gathered. 17 seconds left. That's Rogers. Rogers looking for Jackson. She takes it right short corner. There's another basket for two.
The freshman making it work right there. Reagan Funderburg putting it in.
And the blocking foul there gives Rochester the ball.
And again, Taylorville within 10 here as we approach the end of the third quarter, and you start to see the energy level pick up, and Taylorville really needing to capitalize on some of these mistakes. They're finally able to start seeing the ball go in the bucket.
The three, another $3 being donated by Scooter's Coffee to the Taylorville Boosters. Did that go out of bounds? It is, and it's Taylorville ball with 3.8 seconds left in the third quarter.
Taylor going to try to add one little three-pointer here and get the ball to Bailey Jackson.
Well, it's inbounded back, and they've got to go quickly. Less than a second left, and there's no shot as Lily Durbin never even really got herself in a position to shoot. It is a 10-point game. A far cry from what it was going into the third quarter, as it's now 27-17 in favor of Rochester here at the Dolph on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. fourth quarter now from the Dolph. It is 27-17 Rochester in Taylorville Girls Basketball. I'm Reed Camai alongside Leroy Clemola as we get ready for the fourth quarter. Taylorville starts with the ball, and it's inbounded to Hope Kitzman. Taylorville with a good run at the end of the third quarter to bring it back to a 10-point game. A couple of wraparound passes. Hope Kitzman. Right side then to Grace Rogers. Rogers, short corner, but then finds Kitzman again. Now she's starting to be the focal point of this offense. Left side, as she had to get rid of it. Jackson crosses over to the middle. Kitzman again, left wing. Rogers top. Funderburk this time on the right wing. And whistle goes. And it's a foul. That's who it went against, but it's Taylorville ball. 7:24 left in the fourth quarter. So it's with Taylorville again.
Fouls on Deathridge, her first, team first.
So she is sanctioned with a foul as Bailey Jackson has it. Top of the three, right wing, Rogers. Left side, Susley. Susley then drives into the paint from the right side. Shot off the bottom. Who got the last touch? They say it's Taylorville ball. They stay with it. 7:02 left in the fourth quarter. Taylorville trying to continue to cut into the deficit just like they did right at the tail end of the third with a couple of good shots. Kitzman looking for someone to inbound to. Ran out of time. Found Funderburk. Then left side Jackson. Was that another foul? Yes, it is. And that one's given against Delaney Ferris, her first of the game. 2 early fouls against Rochester.
Her third of the game.
Her third of the game, it looks like. All right. Oh, wow. Okay, I totally missed that one. All right, third foul. Second of the fourth quarter. Again, Kitzman struggling to get it in, but she can't in 5 seconds. And it goes back to Rochester.
And again, just the youth of this team, as they're just they're not experienced enough to be able to do the things that they've been so used to be able to do. Taylorville actually outscored Rochester in that third quarter, 10-9.
So they pulled within the point, and they've got the momentum here. And that is Elena Stock on the right side. Then they work it to the left side to Rochester. And again, as that time the pass by Hope Kitzman, or rather, she's the one who taps it out of bounds, and it's Rochester ball again. So it is 6:41 left in the fourth quarter. Rochester up 10. They've yet to score in the fourth quarter. And it's back inside to Stock. And a poor pass intercepted by Taylorville. They look to break the other way in transition. The pass to Rogers goes out of bounds as she got only a hand to it.
Bailey led her a little bit too far. She was trying to get in there to create the space to be able to shoot the layup, and because of that, it went out of bounds. Back to Rochester ball.
6:25 left. Long pass to the right side, still in the back court. And that is with Rydell. Long pass again. Rochester's been able to make these audacious passes. Rydell left side. Tinder right side. Then back over to the left corner. Room for the three. Long air ball. Gathered by Kitzman. Looking to break the other way. Pass then to Funderburk. Shot off the rim and then hit out by a Rochester player. As Taylorville gets it back, Lily Durbin comes back into the game. Reagan Funderburk is withdrawn.
Well, the freshman gets a big cheer from the other Taylorville faithful here. She's been some good minutes here today. Good to see her on the court and contributing.
And this is the time to prove it early in the season. Lily Durbin takes the three straight after the inbound, but that is off the front of the rim and back to the other side. And the timeout is called by Rochester. We'll take a break here. It is 27-17 Rochester, 5:51 left in the fourth quarter on Tommy TV and 96.5 The Chill. 5:51 left in the fourth quarter. Rochester up 27-17 here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Neither side has scored at all in the fourth quarter. Here comes Rochester, a couple quick passes. Detheridge, right corner to Stock. Cami Tinder now. Right side again, Stock. Tinder. Rydell, left wing. And that is a 3-second violation, it looks like. And it's Taylorville ball. Now it's time to get a start scoring here, Taylorville. If they're going to come back in this game, down 10, 5:26 left in the game. Hope Kitzman across half court. It's a good pass to Lily Durbin. Front to Thea Susley at 3. Kitzman, right wing to corner, then back to wing. Looking there to Durbin in the paint. Rogers, right side, Kitzman takes the 3 and sinks it. Nothing but net from Hope Kitzman.
Hope has such a tremendous shot. She really sets up it, but when she's able to have time, more likely than not, she hits it.
Layup on the follow-up from Cami Tinder from the right side as Rochester responds with a 2.
Taylorville really can't afford to trade shots back and forth, but if you're going to, doing it 3-2 is always a good advantage.
Thea Susley, top of the 3 from Jackson. That's her third 3 of the game as she sinks it nothing but net. 2 threes for Taylorville, and there could be more as it's gathered. Susley on the steal at halfway as the player was slow to get up, and she lays it in. Her first field goal of the game.
Loudest we've heard this Taylorville crowd here in a while is Taylorville within 4. And now offensive foul.
Oh, goodness. Taylorville getting closer. Stock sanctioned that time. That's their third of the fourth quarter. Couple of 3-pointers, more donations from Scooter's Coffee to the Taylorville Sports Boosters, part of the Tornado Give Back program.
So now you get into a really interesting situation here. Rochester really losing the momentum here on this one. Taylorville trying to find a way to will their way back in, but listen, it makes the job so much more successful when you're actually able to hit shots, and that's been the biggest downfall for this Taylorville team today. By being able to hit shots, now all of a sudden you force Rochester to get on their heels and play defense more than what they have. And with that being said, Taylorville really just doing what they've been doing all day, and that is moving the ball around, being able to create spaces. The difference between now and the first 3 quarters is the shots are actually falling. And Taylorville within 4 points now, it creates all kinds of problems as far as what Rochester has to do to be able to slow down this Taylorville attack. It's the best I've seen Taylorville in all 8 quarters that we've seen so far this season. So far, so good if you're a Taylorville fan.
An exciting finish here. It's a 4-point game. Rochester 29, Taylorville 25, 4:08 left. Stay tuned for our post-game coverage. We'll have a recap of the game. We'll also name the Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game, and that'll be an interesting decision to make at the end of this one, as it's a 4-point game, and we get set for play to resume here, as Taylorville had a couple of really good shots, a couple of makes, as they had struggled otherwise in this game immensely. But it's a 4-point game, and Taylorville's got it back here as it's Lily Durbin set to inbound. She does so into the back court to Kitzman, who's been a big part of this comeback. Rogers, and she gets fouled on the shot that time, and she'll go to the line for a pair of free throws sponsored by the senior citizens of Christian County.
Big difference between this game and yesterday's game is the foul trouble. Taylorville doing so much better as far as being patient and keeping their hands to themselves, and so far it's paying off.
And that's their 4th, by the way, against Rochester, as the first free throw is off the rim and out. So any more fouls on the floor by Rochester give Taylorville free throws, which could also be really big as they maybe come back in this one. First free throw missed. Here comes the second from Grace Rogers. And that one's also missed, similar position, and another shooting foul as Jackson attempted the putback. And they go to the free throw line again, sponsored by the senior citizens of Christian County.
Gotta capitalize on these, though.
There were 2 misses on the first go. That's the first miss or on the first of the two, as a substitution. Miley Deathridge comes back on, and Delaney Ferris is taken off. So here comes the second from Jackson. Can they take advantage? They do make the second one. She has a high arcing shot, does Bailey Jackson. And she adds another point to her tally.
The full court press has really been the difference maker here. Rochester has not been able to adjust to this full court press. You almost wonder if Taylorville waited too long to start implementing it. But can they take advantage here? And that'll be the question.
One score game, 3:44 left. Rochester up, and they've got the ball here. Left side to Rydell. Then the corner. That time as Taylorville tried to get into it, but it's back with Rochester, and the layup didn't find the rim. Rochester, or Taylorville rather, gets it back. Follow up there is Grace Rogers. She lays it in. It's a one-score game.
So Rochester 1 point led by 11. Taylorville now within 1, and all of a sudden it's been really the difference here in this fourth quarter as far as being able to play the way that they want to.
Susley steals it on the pass at half court. She lays it. It's off the rim and out. Then the follow-up from Kitzman. Same outcome. Left side, Rogers. She attempts a short two. That also misses. No, those misses haunting Taylorville again, as I think Kitzman is sanctioned.
Keep in mind that Rochester already has 5 fouls, so for the next 2 minutes and 57 seconds left, Taylorville will go to the line each time that there's an offensive foul, or defensive foul, excuse me, but Rochester trying to capitalize here on this 1 point lead, but momentum has completely shifted towards Taylorville.
Rochester just seems a little bit out of sorts. We'll see how they adjust in the rest of this game, as it's with Ferris. Taylorville again attempting the full court press.
Well, and the big part of that has been the full court press from this Taylorville defense.
Tinder, top of the three, left to Ferris, who came back in. Then Tinder again, right wing. Now left wing to Ferris. Right wing again, as that was almost stolen away.
Well, they're letting Tinder be able to be open.
Yeah, and that's taken right under the basket by Bialis. Did she go out of bounds? No, it came off a Taylorville player.
Yeah, they're leaving Tinder wide open at the top of the key. They trust her not to take that three-point shot. And with the way Rochester's going, you almost wonder if they're just moving the ball around a little bit more than what they normally would, just try to find some space.
And maybe have the last word in the game. 2:22 left. Rochester looking to add to the 1 point lead. Right side, right corner. Stock drives in, puts it up for two, rolls off the rim and out. Gathered by Susley. Taylorville could take the lead here. Whistle and timeout is called. It's a 30-second timeout called by Hayden Eldred, and we have to keep it here. It's 2:07.
Nope, it's full.
Oh, it's a full timeout.
But we can still keep it here.
Let's keep it here. Good. I was not ready to do that. What I will say though, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on 96.5 The Chill. All right, it's a 1 point game, 2:07 left. Rochester leads 29-28. Taylorville called timeout there as they were attempting to drive it up the court. And they got a couple of good makes, and that's really boosted their confidence. And it's, Leroy, this is probably the best Taylorville has felt all season long so far.
Much better second half than what we saw in the first half. When you look at these scores, 18-7 at the end of halftime. 18-7 at halftime. It's been all Taylorville since then, and a big part of that has been the fact that the shots are falling. Look, Taylorville's not doing really anything different than what they were doing in the entire first half. The biggest difference here is that Taylorville's actually getting some of these shots to fall, and if they can be able to find the twine here a little bit more in the last 2 minutes, could create some interesting situations here.
All right, Taylorville's got it. 2:03 left. Left side, Susley at the left wing. Then to Jackson from three, straight up top, rolls out, gathered by Deathridge. Now Taylorville pressing tightly. Now they're going to maybe start thinking about fouling. And the foul is committed that time by Susley as Rochester looked to build out.
That's just youth and inexperience right there. She was forced out of bounds. Tinder had no place to go and came forward a little bit too much and bumped her. And so because of that, it'll be Rochester ball again. But again, that's just a little bit of youth and inexperience on that front.
So that's Taylorville's only their second foul of the fourth quarter.
Still 3 to give.
So here comes Rochester again. It's 1:45 left. They're up only by a point. We could be set for an exciting finish here. Bialis, left side, drives towards the corner. That's a poor pass. Gets stolen by Rogers. Attacks on the right side. Drives into the paint. Gets the foul. And the shot. Oh, my goodness.
And the end one. Boy, what a great job on that one. Came off the edge, tried to get the contact. She was able to draw it. Not only does Taylorville take the lead, they have a chance to extend it. First lead they've had since the very first quarter.
My goodness, and you could tell she was looking for the contact, got it. That was perfectly executed by Grace Rogers, and this is what we've needed to see from her in the early goings this season. The free throws brought to you by the senior citizens of Christian County.
She's had a much better game today than what we saw yesterday. A little bit of a slower start for her, but they'll wave this off on the lane violation.
It's a lane violation, and they're saying it goes against Taylorville.
You're not allowed to step over the line before the shot hits the rim, and she was well over the line before the shot hit the rim.
So that ends her turn at the free throw line, and it goes the way of Rochester. They're down a point.
Most likely because she knew she was going to miss and wanted to try to get that rebound.
Could well have been. Chrisman then into the paint. Oh, I think the Rochester coaching staff saw an opportunity for a shot. That pass, and that had a couple of steals. This time, Grace Rogers has it.
And now if you're Taylorville, you just want to slow down the game. Look, you got a 1-point lead. Make Rochester make the mistake. You guys just capitalize on it.
They need a change of mindset here. Bailey Jackson then drives it in and lost her footing there. Did that come off a Rochester player? It did. Taylorville gets it back. 56.3 seconds left in the game, and Taylorville up by 1.
Huge call right there. Taylorville trying to avenge the ghosts from last year as another full timeout is taken. But for Taylorville, it really comes down to just what they want to do here. Now, look, this is a young team. This is a situation where you don't really get these situations too often. So being able to have one this early in the season is a huge, huge plus no matter what happens out of this. A tremendous fight, tremendous comeback from this Taylorville squad that found themselves down by at least 11 at one point in this game. Taylorville really able to just kind of pull their way back into it thanks to a lot of shots that were starting to fall for Taylorville. Because of that, they've been able to crawl back in. But now you run into a situation where how do you handle the next 56 seconds? Look, Taylorville still needs to make 3 fouls. So if Rochester takes the lead, look for Taylorville to foul right away to try to get that ball back. But they're going to need to do some work. Whereas if Rochester starts fouling here to get the ball back, it's going to rely on Taylorville to make those free throws. And that's been a little bit of a problem spot for this Taylorville team so far here in this game.
Yeah, we saw the sequence of 2 pairs of free throw attempts, and only one of those 4 actually went in. So that has been an issue. Could really make a difference as the players come back out of the court. 56.3 seconds left. Taylorville up 30-29. Fourth quarter. Taylorville to inbound, more specifically Hope Kitzman.
What a difference it makes when you make your shots, and that's been the storyline here in this fourth and third quarter.
Remember, no points from Taylorville in the second quarter. None at all. Grace Rogers cuts into the paint. Who did that come off last? They are saying it was off a Rochester player. Big call.
Well, I don't necessarily like the fact that Taylorville's rushing this to try to get points. Look, make Rochester foul you, send you to the line. I mean, you're up by 1 with 44 seconds left. You don't need to force anything, and it feels like Taylorville's still trying to, catch up. You have the lead. Stop it.
Let's see what they do here. Quicken down to Rogers. They did not listen as the shooting foul is called on the follow-up, and Rydell is the player sanctioned.
So again, Bailey will head to the line, and now these free throws start becoming critically important.
She made that 1 free throw of the 4 earlier. These free throws, by the way, brought to you by the senior citizens of Christian County. And that one is made. And the timeout earlier, by the way, also brought to you by Taylorville Community Credit Union. A substitution made as Taylor Cavada comes back into the game. And Katie Rydell, the player who committed the foul, is taken off.
Huge change of events here.
And it goes in. So it's 2 for 2 from Bailey Jackson, and it's
the largest lead for Taylorville here in this game. They lead by 3, and now you just need to play clean basketball and get the ball back as well.
Yes, and Rochester not doing their part as a long pass from Sock goes out of bounds and hits the scorer's table. Timeout now called by Rochester. So now up by 3. Never mind, we'll go to break. Here it's a Taylorville up by 3, 36 seconds left on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. thrilling finish here at the Dolph. Taylorville up by 3, and that pass is inbounded, and did it come off? They said it came off the Taylorville player last, so it's Rochester ball.
They're saying it went off Durbin, and so Rochester's going to get the ball back, and now Taylorville just needs to play sharp defense. Look, you're up by 3. Play the game. Don't allow anything from the perimeter. Don't give them an open look. Don't give them an open look.
And they've had issues, Taylorville, defending at times in this game. Left wing to Ferris, who attempts the 3. It's off the rim. Scrum for the ball in the paint. They say it's a held ball.
It'll be a jump ball, and it'll be Rochester ball again, but now the possession arrow will switch back over to Taylorville.
So Rochester with another attempt here, 26 seconds left, 26.1 to be more specific, down 3.
Remember, it's Rochester's job to rush, not Taylorville's. You have the 3-point lead.
Here they come, and Rochester clearly rushing, and that 3, but the foul, is that called against? That's called against Jackson, it looks like, and if they say that was in the air, then that would be 3 free throws.
It is going to be 3 free throws. It's going to be three free throws for Taylor Kavanaugh, and these become critical. But look, 21 seconds left. Even if she makes all 3 of these, Taylorville has plenty of opportunity to be able to race down and do something with it.
Kavanaugh, first one goes up, and it's through, and it's sponsored by the senior citizens of Christian County. 2-point game, 21.3 seconds left.
Again, this is okay. This is okay. But you get the ball back with 21 seconds. As long as you don't be stupid with it, you're going to be okay. 21 seconds is a long time on this court.
It sure is, as Kavanaugh, these are her first points of the game. She goes 3 for 3 from the free throw line as a substitution is made.
And so now, again, if you're Taylorville, no need to rush this. Look, it's a tie game. There's 21 seconds left. Play to your strengths. Be able to move the ball around the way that you need to, and don't force it. Don't force it, don't force it, don't force it.
Tie game, 18 seconds left. Kitzman across the halfway line. Then feeds it to Susley. Susley turns, and it's given away. Given away, Rochester could break, but a foul is called. But it's called...
It's on Taylorville.
Yep, so it's on Taylorville, so Rochester's got it. Exactly 10 seconds left. Substitution again. Delaney Ferris comes back in. Deathridge is giving us a rest.
So now just don't let them get a shot, right?
That's right.
Simple as that, right?
Simple as that, but it hasn't been that way. Inbounded in the backcourt, so they've got to go. 8 seconds. Taken to Stock. Stock back to the right side. 4 seconds. Shot. It's a poor pass. Taylorville has it. They can't get the shot away. It is actually a long one, but it's missed. And we go to overtime. What a game this has been. 32-all between Taylorville and Rochester. Let's take a break. We'll be back with overtime here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Back here at the Dolph, it is time for overtime basketball. Taylorville Girls Basketball here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. I'm Reed Kamai alongside Leroy Klimola. It is 32-all between Taylorville and Rochester. Overtime basketball, here's how it works. 4 minutes is the length of the periods, and all the team fouls carry over from the fourth quarter, which means that both teams are in the bonus.
But another McDonald's jump ball. You got two of them today, my friend.
Sponsored by McDonald's, where I'm loving it, and they love the Tornadoes, and I am loving this. Overtime basketball. Seemed like a pipe dream earlier as an early foul called, and that does send Taylorville to the line.
But again, much like we talked about, making these shots is critically important. You only have a certain amount of time, and everything stays the same as what it was as far as fouls go. So Taylorville still has one foul to give. And they'll try to score some points here from Thea Susley.
Thea Susley puts it up, and that's long and off the rim. 3:49 left. Susley again, she's on 3 points on the day. Made 1 3 earlier and makes this one.
And Taylor has the lead again.
Just a point as Rochester continues to attack in the other direction. And that foul as Jackson is called for reaching.
Only Bailey's second foul of the day. When you look at the starters, or when you look at this team, Hope has 3, Bailey has 2, Josephine Durbin has 2, Thea Susley has 2, Grace Rogers with 1. So still everybody okay here on this situation.
No one on either team on 4 as the first free throw from Taylor Kavanaugh is off the right part of the rim, and it is sponsored by the Senior Citizens of Christian County.
Big miss right there.
Second free throw is up and misses similarly, gathered by Durbin. Now it's Rochester having issues at the free throw line.
Now capitalize.
Taylorville at times struggling to take advantage of those mistakes and of those second chances. Lily Durbin left wing to Susley. And it's Rogers now. Rogers right side as she drives in. And it goes back to Rochester.
There's the carry on that one. You can see that if you're out watching on Tommy TV, you can see it. She tried swinging around to get some space, and as she did, she carried the ball.
Can't do that as Rochester gets it back. 3:18 left. Rochester down a point. They led by, I think it was 11 or more than that earlier, but the poor pass is taken from the corner, and Taylorville goes back the other way. Right side, Durbin, she drives in. It's out of bounds off a Rochester player.
So no fouls to give for either one. Everything from now on is getting sent to the line. 5 fouls or more on each team. And Taylor trying to capitalize on some of these mistakes and be able to keep their hot shooting going.
Yeah, they've been playing tightly, getting some of those fouls. Not this time, though. Given away as Rogers had the miscue. Rochester gets it back, and they keep it after a scrum. Bialis drives in and can't lay it in as it goes off the backboard.
Everybody's pressing a little bit too hard. You can see the energy level start to pick up. Calm down, play their game to your strengths.
Grace Rogers lays it in. Maybe could have had a foul there, but she gets 2 more, and Taylorville now leads by 3.
Grace Rogers having a fantastic game. She's got 12 points. Bailey has 13.
All from 2s for Rogers as Rochester's now down by 3 looking for a response. Right wing, Sock puts it up for 3. Air ball. Can they keep it back in? No. It's Taylorville ball again.
And so now this next basket becomes critical, Reed. You're up by 3, and if Rochester's able to make the next points, it's a 1-point game. If Taylorville makes the next points, it becomes a 2-possession game, and time keeps ticking away here in this one.
And Taylorville led by 3 points near the end of normal time before that 3-point shot foul, and they converted, but timeout is called here by Hayden Eldred as they were almost whistled for a 5-second violation. I'm Reed Kama, he's Leroy Climola. What a game this has been. 2:24 left in overtime. It is 35-32 in favor of Taylorville. It's really, the way the fourth quarter swung, it really changed how both teams needed to play, and we're seeing these teams really try to adjust.
But really it all started in that third quarter. Taylorville able to get 2 3-pointers from Bailey Jackson, and that kind of changed the scope of the momentum of this one and really allowed Taylorville to kind of crawl their way back into this game. That combined with just sudden misses from Rochester really has changed the landscape of this game, and Taylorville holding and nursing a 3-point lead here in overtime. This is so critical for these young teams, is to be able to have these moments, to be able to find the clutch moments, who is going to step up, who is going to be a leader for either side. And these are the moments that both teams really thrive for, are these moments. You want them early in the season, so that way when you get to later points in this season, because look, this is a long basketball year. It really, really is. To have this opportunity here early in the season, big things can happen because of it.
Yeah, you don't want this to be new later in the season. Taylorville has it back. 2:21 left in overtime. It's with Grace Rogers. What a role she's played in this game. Susley from the left corner drives in, finds Kitzman back out. No shot clock, 2:08 left in overtime. Grace Rogers then cuts in from the right side, and they call her for a travel. I thought she might have drawn some contact.
I've just been so impressed with Thea Susley and what she's been able to do off the bench. She's been a big factor here as well with this team.
Delaney Ferris checks back in for Rochester as they look to attack. Down 3, 1:57 left. And that pass, is it stolen away? It is by Taylorville. And that was Lily Jackson who got in there. Attack now on the right side as Taylorville switches it up. Pass inward to Grace Rogers as she's there to claim it.
No room there and just has to kick it back out.
Back out, but Taylorville up by 3. They can afford this. Kitzman has it, left wing, shallow. Goes left and right again, looking for someone else to pass to. That it does find on the right side, Susley. 1:22 left. Taylorville still up by 3. Rogers cutting around towards the left side. They've really been making use of the wide open spaces as the foul is called. It appears to be against Cammie Tinder.
So that'll send Taylorville to the line here on this one as was just trying to create some space and bumped into her, and most of the time you're going to get that call.
So the free throws for Grace Rogers, sponsored by the senior citizens of Christian County. First one goes up, and it's a high shot that misses shallow off the rim.
The teardrop didn't fall, and that's been Taylorville's biggest Achilles heel today has been their free throw shooting.
One would put them up 2 scores, and they can't get the second either. Similar outcome. So Rochester now down 1 score, and the whistle there, and they get the charge.
Great offensive foul, and fantastic job on that one for Taylorville.
Taylor Kavanagh sanctioned there. Now, it is an offensive foul, so it does not result in free throws like it would for other fouls on the floor in the bonus. So Taylorville gets it back on the floor. 1:11 left, and the Tornadoes are up by 3. As Delaney Ferris is substituted again, so they reversed the change earlier with Miley Deathridge coming back in. Here we go. You can hear the official right in front of us ahead of the inbound pass, and that is played into Durbin, then kicks it out to the left corner. Susley over to Kitzman, who wraps around to the left side. 1 minute left. 1 minute in this game. Taylorville trying to run out the clock here. They could also make it a 2-score game.
And again, no reason to rush if you're Taylorville. Make Rochester make the mistake. Make Rochester press. Make Rochester foul. And coaching staff telling Rochester, hey, foul, foul, foul.
And it's inside to Jackson. Jackson drives towards the basket, finds the backboard, but not the rim. Rochester could go back the other way, and they want the timeout. Took a couple seconds for the referee to notice with 37 seconds left in overtime. Taylorville still up by 3 as Rochester tried to counter quickly there. Rochester, yeah, they realized, just as you were saying, Leroy, maybe they even heard you, that they had to start committing the fouls and give themselves time for Taylorville then to take those free throws, with Taylorville also not shooting that great.
And that's what kills me is, look, you lead by 3. At some point, it's your responsibility to get the ball back. So Taylorville is still rushing. They're up by 3, and it's like, wait, why are we rushing? It's their responsibility to get the ball back. So let Rochester make the mistake. Let them come in there. Let them force the foul and send you back to the line. But if you're Taylorville, look, just take your time. You're up by 3. There's 37 seconds left. Making a 3 at this level is not as easy as as some of the other levels where you see. And so, look, I'm almost tempted to say, look, we're going to play good, heavy defense on the interior, and just say, look, if you want a shot, you're going to chuck it from the cheap seats, and that's where you're going to get it from.
And I think Hayden Eldred was saying just that as they came off, and doing the same thing right now as the players come back out onto the court. 37 seconds left. 35-32 is the scoreline in favor of Taylorville. A lot of 30s right now in this game.
And again, 37 seconds left. Make Rochester make a mistake. You guys can just play solid interior defense. Force them to make a shot from far away.
30 seconds left now. Tinder.
Don't foul. Don't foul.
Oh, that's a poor pass. It goes out of bounds.
That should be Taylorville ball, and it is.
Oh, costly turnover.
And so now, Reed, again, if you're Taylorville, look, get this ball in. Get this ball in. That's critical, first thing first. You need to be able to get the ball in. But once you get the ball in, force Rochester to foul you and send you back to the line.
And I'm sure the Rochester players know at this point, once this ball does get back in, they got to foul immediately. Inbound is made right along the halfway line, and plenty of space for Rogers to run into without being fouled there, and the foul that time.
And that's a big one, because that's an intentional foul.
So sends Taylorville back to the line.
You are not allowed to kind of shove the way that was. That's pretty textbook right there as far as fouls go. So not only is she going to get her shots here, but she's going to get it cleanly with no help at all.
That's right. So it's 2 free throws and possession.
And that's critical.
Thea Susley up to the line. She makes the first 3. I bet some people in the stands could have heard me as it got quiet.
Yeah, you don't talk when they're shooting the free throws. I'm kidding.
It's not rugby. Free throws brought to you by the senior citizens of Christian County. For effect, I will turn it down a little bit, except for right this second as she does make both of them. The problem is I just take you seriously on everything, as you can clearly tell.
Big shots, though, from Thea Susley right there, and that gives Taylorville a 5-point lead with 19 seconds left and the ball. And look, again, don't force anything. Once you get the ball in, let Rochester foul you. They have to get the ball back.
So it's inbounded to Hope Kitzman, looking for another foul. They call a jump ball, and it's Rochester ball. Now they are still down 2 scores.
And again, that's fine. Look, let them have this one. It's their job to score quickly. They only have 17 seconds left to get 5 points.
And how about the situational awareness from Rochester, knowing that they could go for that jump ball and get the ball back? Of course, it doesn't work anymore. 13 seconds. Rochester has it. 3 from the top from Ferris. That's off the rim and out. Who gets to it? It's a Rochester player, as there's another attempt here, and it's long from 2. From the left side, and another foul.
And Reed, Taylorville's going to walk away with the win on this one, miraculously. I have no idea how they're going to pull a big win here on this Saturday afternoon. This is going to be a Taylorville victory here as they head back to the free throw line.
And what I'm most amazed about, and by the way, the free throw is brought to you by the senior citizens of Christian County. What I'm most amazed about, they were not shooting well at all. It's hard stuff to get back into the rhythm, which they did at the end of the third quarter.
But again, it's more, Taylorville did not change their game plan of how they were playing. That's just it. They didn't change it. The biggest difference is that the shots actually started falling.
And it's Hope Kitzman to the line. She missed the first throw. There are 2 seconds left, and Taylorville leads by 5. The second one is actually an air ball, and it goes out of bounds. So Rochester will get one more possession, but even if they score, obviously would not be enough to.
Well, and again, don't foul. That's all you got to do. Let them shoot the 3, don't foul.
Yeah, and it's inbounded short. Long attempt there is well short, and that is the end of the game. What a win by Taylorville. My goodness. They trailed by a wide margin going into halftime, even more so, actually, I think, in the third quarter at one point.
And they were down by 11 at one point.
11 points, and then they came back at the end of the third quarter, cut the deficit, even took the lead at one point in the fourth quarter, forced overtime. Oh, my goodness, what a win by Taylorville. Here it's finished 37-32 in favor of Taylorville over Rochester. Do not go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll have plenty of post-game coverage. We'll look back at the game and name the Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game. This is Tornado Girls Basketball on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Back here at the Dolph, on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. It is finished here between the Taylorville and Rochester girls basketball teams, 37-32. What a game it was. Well, let's look at it by the quarters, because it was 12-7 in Rochester's favor at the end of the first quarter. As we take a look here on Tommy TV, I'm Reed Kama, he's Leroy Klimola, and then it was 18-7 in favor of Rochester at the break. That's right, no points from Taylorville at all in the second quarter. Really difficult to escape from that one. Taylorville did pull to within 1 point at the end of the third quarter, and that was thanks to a quite miraculous run near the end of the third quarter that really got them into a good rhythm. And then they kept chipping away at the deficit, even actually picked up a 3-point lead, and then there was a foul on a 3-point shot that then sent Rochester to the line for those 3 3-pointers. They made all of them. That leveled the scores and sent us to overtime. How about that? And then Taylorville went in front at that point and got themselves first the 3-point lead and then the 2-possession lead, and they were able to hold on for the win at that point.
Well, and again, a big part of that was the changes that Taylorville made at halftime. Big shout out to Coach Hayden Eldred for the adjustments that they made. Rochester really struggled against the full court press, and that really was the difference maker here in this one. And when you look at it and what they were able to do, Rochester really struggled to adjust to it. Taylorville was able to force some mistakes, force some turnovers, but then they did something that they hadn't been able to do all of first game against Hillsborough, and most of this game was capitalize on those turnovers and make points. Once Taylorville started doing that, you really started to see the momentum really shift from what it was in that first half, and the energy level came back. Taylorville was able to pull out a huge tie, get the game into overtime, and then pull away with the win.
That's right, and why don't we now name our Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game. Leroy, who are we giving it to?
It's going to Grace Rogers. Look, Grace had a fantastic game. Started off a little bit slow. I mean, she did have 4 of the points in that first quarter, but for her, it really boiled down to being able to control the tempo and stay out of foul trouble. Yes, she had 12 points, but it was her defense that really allowed her and her leadership to be able to give this Taylorville team a victory. Taylorville does not pick up a win without the great, fantastic play of both Bailey Jackson, but Grace Rogers, who is our Chill Player of the Game and our Chill Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game today.
So congratulations then to Grace Rogers for that. Let's take a look at the point totals.
We're going to talk to Coach Hayden Eldred here. We'll do that first before we get to our point totals. Reed?
Okay, sounds good.
Would you like to do this interview?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get him over. He is walking right across the court, and he knows exactly what's about to come. Leroy's going to hand over the headset as Hayden Eldred comes on over and gets ready to put it on. He's shaking the head as I can see here. Hayden Eldred, you are on 96.5 The Chill. Thanks for joining me. Are you as speechless as I am?
Yeah, it was pretty bleak there for a little bit. We were really struggling trying to figure out what we could get going. It definitely could have gone the complete opposite way there. We could have laid down. We got some sparks off the bench and finally started picking up our pressure, and it got to them, and we finally started seeing our baskets go. Defense leads to good offense. Yeah,
and you mentioned those bench players. I mean, you went the entire second quarter not scoring a single point. Now, it must be difficult to sort of get out of a shooting rut like that. What did it take?
It takes defense. I mean, yeah, if you're struggling on the offensive end, you got to pick up the pressure defensively, cause turnovers, and get easy layups, and then go from there. We did a much better job getting to the free throw line. We didn't shoot good from the free throw line, but we were getting to the free throw line, and that's what it really kind of settles you down and allows you to set up your pressure too. The girls, Thea came in and Lily did a great job sparking us.
Yeah, and then in the fourth quarter, once you got a lot closer to Rochester, even took the lead, I imagine there obviously a change of mindset, change of tactics, which seemed like an maybe you wouldn't say impossibility earlier, but certainly quite unlikely. How smooth was it for the players to kind of make that transition?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're capable of. We've been, the last night, and let's just start this game where we were kind of just. I think they were really getting down themselves already. We got to remember we're a fresh team, and it's going to take a second to get in a rhythm and get used to that varsity pace. But I think we finally kind of found something there that hopefully we can keep going tonight and next weekend.
Yeah, so you've got that next game against Jacksonville tonight. 2 games in one day. How do your players feel about going at it all over again later, especially having played overtime just now?
It's definitely going to help pulling that one out. Wins make you more energized. But we got players that we can sub in and out. They're up to their task. We'll get Joe back tonight too, and we'll have an extra man to get at after it.
Awesome.
How important is it for these teams to face these situations of overtime and to get the
yeah
for a young team like Taylorville?
Yeah, as many as you can get. Obviously, we wouldn't like to be down, that much every time. But yeah, being able to come back and not only get the lead, but to hang on. I was really proud of them hanging on. It's something we've always kind of struggled with in the past. We almost, we made a mistake there at the end to let them get those free throws, but they knocked them down, and we took it overtime and just kept that momentum going. So these type of games this early are great. We're gonna need as many of them as we can get, especially with this fresh team needs all the experience that we can get early on.
And you got that experience today. Coach, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. And that is Coach Hayden Eldred here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Now I reckon we'll take a look at the point totals. Well, leading the way was Bailey Jackson with 15, from my calculations at least. Grace Rogers for Taylorville had 12. Let's look at the other Taylorville players. Thea Sussley with 5, Hope Kitzman with 3, and Gianna Tarr with just 1. And then for the top scorers on Rochester's side of the ball, they had, looks like it was Elena Stock who led the way with 8 points. Had a couple of 5-point scorers in Katie Rydell and Delaney Ferris. One with 4 points in Danica Crispin. A couple of 3-point scorers in Riley Henry and Taylor Kavanaugh. And 2 players with 2 points, or rather 3 players with 2 points in... No, never mind. It's just 2 players with 2 points. Cami Tinder and Miley Deathridge for Rochester. Now, Rochester next up, they play later today. They are against Hillsborough, Taylorville as well. That one will tip off at 7 o'clock, and they will face Jacksonville here as part of the Thanksgiving holiday tournament. Well, Leroy, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
These are big statement wins for Taylorville, especially for a young team like this to be able to pull off a win. Huge for momentum, huge for the energy level, and huge to say, look, we know how to win. Let's do it again.
Well, he's Leroy Klimola. I'm Reed Kamai. Thanks so much for joining us on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. And we'll do it all over again later tonight when Taylorville hosts Jacksonville. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock here on 96.5 The Chill and Tommy TV. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you then. Bye for now.
You're watching Tommy TV.